Hey everyone, this is DayTraderRockStar, and this is the high probability watch list for the first week in September. Big happy Labor Day weekend to everyone. I know we're going to have a 3-day weekend. We're going to start the week off next Tuesday, shorten week next week, and September, which is a brand new month. The beginning of the business year. The business year, back to school. A lot of things happen in September. But one thing that has historically happened in September, according to the Stock Trader Almanac, is it made its way down to the 12th position in performance over the last 50 years, meaning it is on the bottom. So, just keep that in mind. You don't know if that's, to go away in May trade. No, that hasn't worked in a couple of years. I wouldn't go by any seasonality type of events right now. The market seems very strong. And we're not even going to really focus on the market. We're going to focus on what is killing it in the market. Really just constantly, mapping out our trades, getting ready for the trades before they happen. The HPS style, I hate to say it, but it's been working so great. We've taken so many profits this week. All I want to do is actually get onto this watch list, and that's coming up because I got new setups. But it's important to go back and take a look at the setups from this past week and why they worked and why we keep on saying I don't want to give you anything other than this. So at one point there's maybe not going to be much out there, but this is what we're looking for. We're looking for these setups. You're going to see how they performed. You're going to see the trades we took. So this is Pfizer. Again, a great example of the underlying pivot areas here playing out. Just a standard retracement to an underlying trend line. In this case, it's a channel line because you have that multiple pivot areas here. This gives you that one, and everything actually looking good. So anyway, this trade continues to go on, and as you can see, it updates. It comes right down into our buy zone, bounces basically off that trend line, and comes up here and actually hits our profit zone. So we ended up taking profits on Pfizer. But again, that's how you want to be able to kind of prepare for a stock, prepare for a trade, be a part of that trade actually mentally before it even gets to that level. That's the key. If you're not reactive to it, then you want to be proactive. I want to be able to actually, instead of reactive, I want to be able to get plan out this trade and not plan on say, oh, it's moving up, let me get in it. It's already given this. This was perfect setup. All right, so you're going to see these. This is what I got to show you this week. I'm very proud of that. Here we have HP, and again, it was in the oil and gas sector. This was my sector in focus for this past week, and after a little bumpy start in the week, nothing really happened with the charts. It's just everyone wants to get in. Say, all right, Johnny says these stocks are going to perform, and you have a Monday or a Tuesday, it just doesn't move, and then boom, you're off to the races. That's you have to take the overall pattern in content. Sometimes there could be a consolidation. There could be a bland market. There could be other factors out there, news and stuff. But the overall HPS setups, you have the underlying trend line, the 200-period moving average, the base is starting. You can't see down here, but the reason most of these are taken is because we have the stochastics also lining up. So that's a key component down here, is the stochastics crossing over the wind in your sails. So everything here looking really good. No reason not to be part of this stock. We get in. Next thing you know, we could say, boom. So that's the idea. And the reason we get this explosive move, and we're able to say, well, we could have been in it here or here or here. No, this is where we wanted to be in it because we had the combination of important indicators all lining up, telling us there's probably a better chance of a bigger move. And that's what we want. We don't want to go sideways on the stock for 6-7 days. It's just kind of dead money. We want to be able to get into the stock and get a nice run out of it. In this case, it continues to push higher. Most of the HPS setups are usually great long-term entries, and that's what we kind of focus on. So, excellent setup. Did it. Been there, done that. This was probably one of the best bets of the last week also. It was just a very strong flag, and you're going to see some really great flags. I have a special segment on flags on this week's watch list too. So flags have been really good, and this was just one of my best bets. You could have put this one up against Apache, APA, the CLR we also had on the watch list. All these, I just ended up being in this one instead of some other ones. But you can see we actually click on that little button. We pushed right up into our profit. We took profit. It actually still looks good. It looks like it wants to continue. Flags like this will consolidate, pull back, maybe a little flag, pop out, do the same thing. But this overall, the trend is intact and looks really good for further upside. All right, here's MT. I mean, I was extremely excited to trade the MT down at this level. I thought it was an excellent level. Very hard stock sometimes to trade. It trades under $15. It was at $13, $14 in this level. Had a nice little buy zone. We bought into it, and I have to tell you, the reason we bought into it because of the things that are showing up on the chart. We have these three good pivot areas. 1, 2, 3, a large pattern. Then we have what we call a channel within a channel, which happens a lot on these channels. It's basically, here's a channel here, here's a channel here. So you trade these channels the same way. If you have a lower channel, you want to buy into that lower channel when you get that stochastic rotation. So in this case, we had a stochastic rotation on a daily, and a fast one, which I love when we get from overbought to oversold. Real quick, get down here. We ended up coming right back down to this underlying trend line, and basically that was our level we wanted to look at. We knew that we had a backup level in case things got really hairy or news came out, would be down here, and I always kind of marked those bigger levels out. But this, we didn't need that. It actually pushed right back up into our profit zone, 1450. We got out of it, gapped up into it, we took it off. It's moved back since. Now it's chopping around. I do expect this to actually move higher too, because you're going to see a nice little section on metals coming up on the watch list. So we're looking at metals, and I think actually steel, iron could actually come back, even though there was some news recently out on the iron ore prices. We'll talk more about that. Now, I'm back here over on the Apache. We mentioned that last week our stocks in focus were these oil and gas, independent oil and gas stocks. Everything from the CLR, the APC, the APA. But we're going to go through them and just show you the pattern that was playing out, because that's what we would look for. I like to look for the recognizable pattern that happens across the sector. It just kind of gives us a good, and actually I have gold overlaid here, so don't mind this purple line. Forget about it. I'll get rid of that in a second here. Doing some charting earlier with gold. So you can see a nice little flag here, really a nice flag. But just look at this this chart. Look at that. Basically, these were all given to you before this flag has been broken out. This was a nice coiled stochastic channel breakout, a real classic what I call DayTraderRockStar playbook play. It's when you have that underlying channel and a coil lines up. You can get the direction, you get the time, and you get the everything else that's involved with this signal. It's a great signal. It doesn't come out that often. When it does, it's off to the races. Like I said, I took the APC, but HP also took the HP. So it's just a matter of what stock you want to get into. This one actually is still looking very good. And what you're seeing is these nice patterns. We've taken the HPS type of pattern, meaning we've gotten into the pattern where we wanted to get. Now it's kind of extended on the daily, on the 60. It's not giving us that time frame entry we normally look for, because right now we'd be going against the grain right now. Everything's kind of extended up here. We could easily pull back a little, and you have to be careful in that. That's the area that you need to start to realize that when you start losing money, it's because you're just kind of impatient waiting for that next good setup. And sometimes it takes a while for those stocks to reset up to really just get that little perfect entry that you want, or something that's just that special thing, and you don't get it all the time. We look for it, we kind of try to make it happen, but it's not always there. All right, let me get back to those charts here. So gold. I want to talk about gold for a second. Gold is definitely on the list for next week, and a couple was it last week, early last week, end of last week, early this week, I called the possible bottom here. It was around the 20th. It was last week, early last week, around the 21st, 22nd. We had a bunch of things lining up. We had a great hourly getting oversold, but we also had that 5-minute setup. It was a multiple time frame, and it was a pullback on the daily, which it's pulled back to this underlying trend line and a retracement trend line. So this is what I call X marks the spot. So the combination of that indication, we're just getting oversold, and everything else was lining up. We looked at this, and the truth is gold has been grinding up from that level. Now it's not exploding, but it still looks good on the daily. The daily's crossed back up. Hopefully we get a little further upside. A little momentum starts to build on this, and we actually bust right back through that 200 period moving average and kind of just get this out of this big base that's been forming here. And that's another reason that gold looks nice here. It has a nice base. We're kind of in the middle of the base. I mean, honestly, we can move around here a bit, but because of the stochastics rotating back down, because of its, that quality trend lines, the intersection of the trend, this is all about HPS. All these are the indicators that I use in HPS, so this makes it a good level to get in, and it's working out. So I mean, we want to watch the rotation. We understand that the 60 minutes is going to rotate multiple times. Actually, the 60 is pulling back a little, but it did make its nice move up here in almost a stair-stepping pattern here, and actually can move up again. Gold's one of those stocks that moves on the political events too. So, but interesting. I like the gold here, and with the gold, I like some of the miners. We're going to save those for the watch list, the official part of the watch list, because I have all the alerts on that. Let's talk about the S&P right now, and there's not much to talk about. There really isn't. This market has been just strong and complacent and boring, but look at it. There's nothing wrong with this last few years of trading. It's going to be impossible to call this bottom. If it does happen, it might be on an event, some kind of event. Fill in whatever you want to put there, but something outside a general, overvaluation or bubble busting or something like that. It seems like this market here was taking the opportunity in every pullback. It really does feel good here. For now, it does. I mean, yeah, we're extended on the daily. The hourly, yeah, it's extended. So the timing is off. I mean, if we pull back, that's fine. Look at the last time we pulled back. Look how great of a signal that was. 60-minute rotated right back down. We knew it was going to... I got rid of my VIX because of this. I said, you know what, we have a profit on the VIX. We're probably going to... This looks like pretty... we're going to start to rotate back up. We get rid of the VIX. We take a nice little profit on the VIX. And then, boom, we get out the VIX on the spike up here. And since then, we've been coming back down. So, you got to take the signals. You got to understand the signals. And just respect them and just let them do what they have to do. Right or wrong. If you do that right thing over time, you play by the book, the best odds in the book, you're going to end up on top, or it's going to give you the best shot possible instead of going against the grain. So there was a reason to get out of the VIX there. There was a reason to get into the S&P. These were inversed. The VIX was even more extended than the S&P was overextended. And we get more in touch with the VIX now. Now we start to trade that more and more. I've been trading this more and more the last couple months. And it feels good. Alright, I'm not going to waste any more time. That's the first part of the video. This next part of the video goes out to the members of the Day Trading Radio, so you can make your way over there and pick that up. Other than that, broadcasting every day, of course, 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And you don't want to miss next week. I have some great stocks set up here. Let's get looking at them right now. Alright, let's start off.